Hey everyone, I'm Ryan, you're watching 60 Cycle Hum, and in this video, I'm going to do something that so many other guitar YouTube channels have done over the years. I am in well-trodden territory now because I've got a Glarry guitar to unbox here. Before I get to it, I want to talk about how I arrived in this place in my life where I'm going to be unboxing a Glarry. Glarry has emailed me several times in the past, a couple times last year, asking if I wanted to check out their guitars, and I never replied because at this point, it's been done over and over and over and over again. And, I'm not against, doing things to death. I just felt like every other channel's done a Glarry. I'm not really that interested. I've done enough cheap guitars across this channel that there's not going to be any surprises here when I cover one. That being said, they got me. What happened is they included me into an email chain that they were having with someone who was pretending to be me.
I have a YouTube channel and have received multiple requests for a review of your GTL Telecaster style guitar. I was wondering if you could send me a demo guitar for the review. Thanks. Good morning. Here is my information. YouTube channel, 60 Cycle Hum.
Not me, but they were pretending to be 60 Cycle Hum. They told Glarry that they represented the 60 Cycle Hum YouTube channel, and they had this whole email exchange where they were picking, the model and the color and asking for, other things like amplifiers and stuff like that. And before Glarry shipped it out, they had all the address and the phone numbers and information, which I have because they sent me the emails. They were like, hey, your email address doesn't match our records for 60 Cycle Hum. We're going to tag 60 Cycle Hum in this email and try to get some clarification here as far as what's going on. So I got the email. I was like, that's not me. I have no idea who that is. And I checked the address, and they were trying to get this thing shipped to a truck stop in Nebraska. I actually called the phone number, and a robot came on and said something along the lines of like, this phone number is not active or something like that. It seemed like a dummy phone number. There's probably no way to figure out who this person actually is who is trying to scam Glarry. I'm assuming that the truck stop thing is a common thing for internet scammers and whatnot. I actually had someone hack my eBay years and years ago, and they ordered a bunch of car parts and were having them shipped to a similar style truck stop in the middle of nowhere. No, I'm not trying to throw shade at you, Nebraska, but I looked on the map and there's nothing else going on around this truck stop. It's all kind of baffling to me. First of all, if you're going to try to scam a company, why do you go for the, $80 to $120 guitar that is Glarry? Why are you trying to scam, the cheapest of the cheap guitars? Number two, why 60 Cycle Hum? If you're going to pretend to be anyone to get anything, why are you pretending to be 60 Cycle Hum? I realize that this is a bigger channel now than it still feels to me. To me, it feels like this is still really small time. And that's probably an insulting thing to say to everyone else out there that's, trying to work their way up and has their eyes on the prize as far as the numbers that this channel gets. But I still, everyone that's doing their own work looks at everyone else's work and like, oh man, I wish it was that big. It just feels weird to me that someone would try to scam a company with this channel. That's my job. I'm just joking. I don't scam people. But still, it's bonkers, right? I kind of want to say the guy's name, whether it's real or fake, but I don't want to do anything that, could potentially be calling people out, be doxing people or something like that. I don't want that look. So anyways, let's get into this thing. I want to see what's going on here. Even though we all know exactly what I'm about to get into, because like I said, every single other channel on the planet has done this. Oh, and by the way, after I told Glarry, I didn't know who that person was, predictably, a few days later, they're like, well, do you want the guitar? It might have all been Glarry trying to get my attention. Maybe it's all a scam from Glarry's side. I should have the overhead camera ready to go. All right, here we go. It's Glarry time. Comes with a very thin nylon style case. Orange Telecaster style thing here. A thin, cheap nylon looking strap. Throwaway Radio Shack style cable. And the reveal. Kind of a peachy orange. Similar orange to that Firefly Telecaster thing I got. What, like a year or so back? The wood of the neck feels very raw. If there's a clear coat on this, it is razor thin, because I can really feel the grain. Or rough wood around the truss rod hole. These are supposed to be like 120 bucks. I mean, it's wild that guitars can exist for $120. Closed back tuners. Not really a surprise. That's been the norm for a long time for the vast majority of guitars. Cheap plastic looking pickup there on the bridge. Got an Elmer's glue smell in that sound hole there. String through. No major surprises here yet, but you know, I've got to plug it in and get it tuned up and everything. Actually seems like a few of the strings are tuned too high. That's not ideal. Tuners feel cheap and jumpy. Kind of that sticky jumpy thing going on. Give those strings a stretch. All right, here we go. I'm on the bridge pickup. Check levels a bit. Sounds really thin. It's drifting out of tune already too. Action is pretty high. It looks like, yeah, the nut is cut way too high. It needs to be cut a lot lower. That's one of those things where you're pressing the string down so far at the first couple of frets that it's actually going to push you out of tune because you're bending the string so much to get it down to the fret on those lower frets there. Though I will say the neck is comfortably full. It's not a thin or small neck. It has a bit of like a baseball bat thing going on. I was not expecting that. Like I said earlier, it feels raw and dry. This is, you know, if it has a coating on it, it's very, very, very slight. It feels like, you know, just a quick touch of sandpaper would reveal completely raw wood on this. The edges of the frets look like they were just trimmed without any polishing at all. Like I can see, you know, the marks from the cutter in the frets. Though they're not sticking out of the ends, but I can feel that roughness of the fret with my fingers. It's, you know, it's a playable fret. It wouldn't, you know, if I got to know this guitar, they wouldn't bother me. They're not, you know, they're not sticking out of the end. It's just like my skin is catching on that rough cut a little bit. You know, you could get one of these things. You could get any super duper cheap budget guitar as, you know, a practice piece to practice dressing frets on. And that would be a smart way to spend your money if you wanted to practice doing that, because you certainly wouldn't want to practice on a nice guitar, a more expensive guitar. Maybe I'm tripping, but that output just sounds so low. I'm going to grab the Jennings Navigator that has decent pickups in it. Good pickups. Just to see how that compares to make sure I'm not tripping. Yeah, the output is way higher on these. I've played a lot of cheap pickups over the years, but I've never been like, oh man, the output on these is really low because they're cheap. Usually it just, you get a really bright, like piercing pickup, an unpleasant sounding pickup. I've never experienced where like the output is noticeably super duper low like. Yeah, that's interesting. The intonation is mostly on, a little bit off on the low E and the low A, but that high cut nut is really going to cause issues if I play up here. I mean, I'll say right off the bat, $120 to get a normal sound out of this, you're gonna need to change the pickups. Cheapest pickups on the market, like $20 for a set or something like that, $140 to get into this guitar. Just go buy a Squier Affinity. It's gonna be a better starting place. Any Squier Bullet, you know, anywhere in that territory. Even the Firefly that I bought a year and a half ago that I didn't like enough to keep would have been a better start than this, because this is the pickups are surprisingly poor. Let's try hitting it with some drive. This is the Boss SD1. It sounds kind of out of phase too. Can a single coil pickup be out of phase with itself? It doesn't humbuck in the middle position. This is what some guy was trying to scam from a company in my name, which is bizarre to me right now. I mean, if you're going to do a crime, you really want to do jail time over a Glarry? If you're going to do a crime, go big, right? Maybe I don't understand crime. It just seems like a silly thing to risk yourself over. Like, no one needs this. If someone was trying to scam food or something that was a necessity in my name, I'd be like, hey man, how can I help you? But trying to scam a Glarry? I do not get it at all. Honestly, I think the only people this guitar has any value to is the people like me, YouTubers, who are trying to get, you know, clickbait stuff going on. My initial impressions here are that no one should buy one of these. And they certainly shouldn't break the law and do a crime to try to get one. I mean, that's a whole other level of YouTube guitar review. Don't do a crime to get this guitar. It's not worth it. What a bizarre world we live in. I mean, visually, it's fine. I could be picky about little cosmetic details and stuff like that, but it's not anything that would have stuck out to me on, you know, any entry-level mid-range guitar, other than those frets being pretty rough the way they're cut, and the obviously visible nut cut too high. The rest is like, the finish is fine. I don't see any big, you know, like orange peel texture going on. I don't see any big flaws in the finish. All the parts are there. They're just really low quality, especially the pickups. I could raise those pickups and probably get more output. Where's my screwdriver? Still sounds pretty thin, and I've got them higher than I would normally. Man, that's really thin. The action's so freaking high. To get this thing where I would enjoy it, I'd have to cut that nut lower. I don't have the skill to do that. I don't like messing around with nuts because if I go too far, then I can't, go back sort of thing. I'm certainly not going to pay anyone to dress this nut. It's almost set up for slide. Like, this could be a slide guitar. If you're looking for a $120 slide guitar with weak pickups, this could be a place to start, I suppose. Let's do an open tuning here. I mean, technically it works. I'll have, close-up photos on each part of this as I talk about it in the video. But yeah, I mean, to recover what I've been saying, don't do a crime to get a Glarry. It's not worth it. I have no way of making sure that there's consequences for the guy that was trying to scam Glarry, other than they contacted me and I was able to shut down that interaction. I'm sure he's out there still trying to scam people. If you're a builder out there and you're getting hit up by YouTube channels asking for product, make sure you check out their email address. Go to find contact information for that channel and make sure it matches up. Maybe send a email to whatever email addresses they provide for official contact and use those to confirm. There's people out there trying to do naughty stuff to get guitars that aren't worth having, in my opinion. Next step in the journey for this guitar is I need to figure out how to get rid of it because I don't want to keep it. And I really don't want to ship it. Initially, I had the idea, I'm like, oh, I should still ship this to that truck stop where this guy apparently lives and receives packages. But I don't want to spend the money to ship this, even for a gag. It's not like I can be there to witness him opening it or something. Yeah, I could pack the box full of glitter and do something vindictive and something that I would think it's funny and sit there in my bed at night and giggle to myself thinking about him opening it up and glitter spilling everywhere. But again, it's really not worth my time because I don't get to see it. It's not worth your time because you don't get to see it. And the amount of money that it would cost to ship this thing is more than this guitar is worth. So I'm not going to do it. Maybe I'll put this up on Craigslist. I'll put it up on OfferUp for free. Hey, come get it. I think that's a good idea. Put it out on the corner. Put this out on the corner. Let someone who wants to grab a free guitar get it. Could be a kid, could be a flipper, could be, anyone. I'm not going to judge. I'm just going to put it out there, and I'm sure it'll be gone pretty quick. So I figured it would be dumb to end this video without giving the guitar away. So Henry and I drove down to Ocean Beach here in San Diego. We got ourselves some of our favorite hamburgers, and we're gonna sit here, and I'm gonna put the guitar out on the wall out here by the sea, with a free sign, and maybe someone will grab it while Henry and I sit here and enjoy our lunch. Let's see what happens. These burgers are absolutely ridiculous. Really is my favorite hamburger place in San Diego. It's called Hodad's.
I just started learning to play the guitar.
Grab it, man.
Is that a good one?
No, that's why I'm getting. It's fine. It's a pretty cheap guitar, but you know, it's worth messing around with.
I only have like a little small one. Cool.
No, here, let me film you.
Enjoy it.
Thanks.
We got
So
one.
anyways, thanks to everyone who watched this whole video. Sorry I did a Glarry. At this point, there's really no reason for any guitar channel to do a Glarry. We know what they are. They're not great. They are guitars. They do exist. You can order them. They are very cheap. $120 is what they want for this. But I don't recommend it. I don't recommend buying one. There's so many better options out there these days. Really good options. Really good, affordable guitars out there these days. And this just is not one of them. So anyways, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, dislike, leave me rude and nasty comments. Support us on Patreon. You know the whole deal. And you know what? Stay grounded. Bye, everybody.